Terrika Foster-Brasby. I am so happy to have you today on this busy WNBA Monday. And even though there is so much news happening, I just felt like it was appropriate to take time to give some flowers to Angel Reese because sis is hooping. Like, she struggled to start the season. She's acknowledged her struggles to start the season. In fact, she said she played terrible the first 8 games of the season. And I don't even think that's an adjective I would personally use, but she struggled a little bit, right? And there were a lot of people happy, Terrika, to pile on her, to go at her. And right now they're pretty quiet. They are pretty quiet, Terrika, because I was about to say Terrika, Angel Reese. Angel Reese has been hooping. She has been balling. And just yesterday, she had an amazing game. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, 15 plus rebounds for 4 straight games. So it was like the 4th game in which she did this. But I mean, she's just on a tear. She's had her last, there's 70 total rebounds over those games. So there's a streak. And the only other person who has that record is Tina Charles. So she has 3 of the records, okay? Over 4 games, totaling 70 or more rebounds. Angel Reese has done it 3 times. Only other player in NBA history to do it, even 1 time, is Tina Charles. That is the company Angel Reese is keeping right now.
She is, we knew that. You know what I mean? We knew this was the type of player that Angel could be. And the crazy part is that, whenever you say a player has to kind of get reacclimated and because this is what really happened for Angel and for everyone else who plays for Chicago, right? It's a new coach. So it's a new system. So then you have to kind of relearn some things all over again, right? And I can imagine for a veteran player, well, maybe they've kind of gone through this a few times, maybe going from a different team, going to a different coach, learning a new system. This is only Angel's sophomore season. So for you to kind of have to start your second year again, learning a new system under a new coach, kind of figuring things out, that doesn't always translate into you having the best start. But things always tend to work out the way they're supposed to. And Angel has figured out exactly how to make this system work for her in the way that she's turning into just being on a tear. Double perspective. This was the 3rd one that she had coming into this particular matchup. She had 19 rebounds against Atlanta just last week, which was a season high for her. She's already averaging 12.4 points and 12.6 rebounds per game. Again, this is just her 2nd season, and she is only going to continue to get better. And I think that's a scary thing. The more she gets comfortable, the more she starts to dominate. And that is a scary and great thing for the league. So absolutely continue to give Angel her flowers because she deserves them. And this team is continuing to change because Camila Cardoso is now gone because she's playing overseas. Yeah. And you already were playing without Courtney Vandersloot, who's going to be out for the season because of an ACL tear. So again, these are just different things that continues to happen for Chicago, and is going to need people to continue to step up and kind of do different things to figure out what works. Angel, you and I kind of had this conversation offline where she's kind of slid into a different type of role that works more for her, figuring out. And it is literally working for not only her, but for the entire team, because you start to see Ariel Atkins do better. You're starting to see Haley Van Lith play with a different type of umph, and it really helps to galvanize the team. So I love this for Angel.
Yeah, only player in the league actually currently averaging a double-double as a sophomore, as you mentioned, only in her second year season. And I just want to point out, these numbers are actually ridiculous. But she also was the 2nd player to get a triple-double this season. So that was just a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yep.
That's not even included here. But I also think it's really notable here. Okay, we all know about the rebounds, me-bounds, we-bounds, and I'm going to touch on that in a second. But it's also the assists, because you talked about playing a different way. She's really embracing this point forward role. And I love mini Alyssa Thomas. Okay. I love Angel Reese turning her game into an Alyssa Thomas-like game, because if that's what you're going to be, sis, woo, sky is the limit,
Okay. Yeah.
And so I am just so proud of her, the things that she does and the way that she, turns things back on people who hate on her, right? I brought up the me bound. So for anyone who doesn't know about that, right? People always
Yeah.
tease many people, obviously not everyone, because Angel Reese obviously gets a lot of love. She has a lot of supporters, but there's this like a segment of the population that has a thing with this young woman, and they constantly attack her online and they do different things, to essentially harass her, belittle her, just all kinds of things. We've talked about that at nauseam. So I'm not going to get into that. But one of her haters, if you will, they tried to call her rebounds me bounds, because people say she's just rebounding her own missed shots, which has been proven to be untrue. She would still lead in rebounding, even if you took away the shots that she didn't rebound for herself. She would still be a top rebounder in the league. It's just nonsensical. So they called her rebounds me bounds, because they were trying to imply that she's only rebounding her own missed shots. And Angel Reese took that and trademarked it. She registered it. Okay. And so now there's apparel you can go buy, and also some of the proceeds are being donated to help like anti-bullying and all that stuff that happens online. So I just think it's incredible that she turned something like that, into something positive. And now you see the Chicago Sky social account and everyone referring to them as me bounds. And I just think that's so cool. So you hated on her, and look what you did. You ended up putting some more coin in Sis's pocket.
You really did. You know what else I think is really interesting? I loved in the offseason when she was playing at Unrivaled that she was getting some one-on-one time with Lisa Leslie, right? And so if you're gonna learn the post game, there's no one better you can learn from than the great Lisa Leslie. And what I really loved is, recently I've seen Lisa at Chicago Sky games, right? And I thought that is something that is so encouraging, right? Because if you are going to be mentored by someone, you really want that person to be able to continue to pour into you, not just during this one particular time, but on a continual basis. And I think that is helping Angel's confidence too. Not that she lacked any, because sis don't need no help in the confidence department. But I just think that it looks great and feels great. We often talk about our greats giving back to the game and finding ways to continue to be effective in the W after their time is over. And so I love to see the work that's being put in. But I love the fact that Lisa Leslie has kind of said, hey, let me take you under my wing a little bit and kind of give you some tips and give you some ways that you can perfect your game. And I love that. And I think that's important. It's also really dope that she went off on Sunday night on the day that Candace Parker was getting her jersey retired, who again, another legend, other records that have been broken were set by Candace that Angel put up, and went above and beyond. And so I just love that she's taking what she's seeing the legends of the game do, the vets of the game. I love that she's taking it and embracing it and kind of making it her own. But man, like that's just so important to me. Like when you're getting that knowledge, to try to figure out how to soak it all in. And it looks like she's doing that.
For sure. And so then to me, it begs the question, because we've been talking about a lot of things today, including WNBA All-Star. So the list of players who are the starters came out, but the coaches will still need to pick the reserves. And so my question to you, Terrika, is this tear that Angel Reese has been on, has the turnaround in her season enough to warrant getting the nod to be an All-Star this year?
I would say so. I believe that Chicago has really moved up in the standings since earlier in the season. I want to be accurate when I talk about where they're currently located, but I believe they're like in the 10th position. They're 5-11 right now. And so it feels like it's probably not that far, but realistically, there is still a good 20 some odd plus games left in this season. It's a 44 game season. So they 5-11, they've only played 16 games. There's still time in this season for them to kind of continue to move up if she continues to play this way. And at the beginning of this season, it was very difficult. I mean, at one point, they were one of the teams that had not won a game yet, right? And so I think that it's important when you think about who's the person that's helping to turn the team around, how this person's playing, the records that they're breaking, that to me warrants an all-star nod, right? And so I think it would be fair if she's listed as one of the reserves. I mean, again, as we had a previous conversation. We talk about if this had been a city of Chicago was hosting, or if this was taking place at Wintrust, you probably give a little bit more to consideration to that when picking your all-stars. But I think Angel Reese deserves it, right? I just don't. I just think it is completely difficult to overlook setting the bar that she's setting the records that she's setting, continual double doubles, 15 straight point games on the board. Like, there's so much more to basketball than just being able to shoot the rock. But she's able to do that, and she's really taking advantage in the post game. And so I, to me, feel like it is all-star worthy.
Yeah, I agree. I think she has done enough. And I think, especially because it's funny, like, you know, the starter vote is broken up by fan, media, player. Fan vote counting 50%, media 25%, and players 25%. But we saw the breakdown of the results, and the players clearly had a very different perspective than the media and the fans for who should be starters. So I have no doubt that the coaches, we're not picking them, so we won't have anything to compare to. But I'm just saying coaches are going to, I'm sure, consider different things because they've played against like some of these, you know, players and teams and stuff like that. So I don't think coaches are going to be as focused on where you are in the standings. They're going to be like, no, this player, this is the numbers they're putting up. And when we went against them, we knew what they were like and what they did to us. And so, you know, I do think the coaches, you know, to me, it was evident from even Unrivaled when Angel Reese was selected defensive player of Unrivaled, right? Like, so the coaches clearly think highly of her. You and I both think highly of her, and many do. So I have no doubt that she will end up, you know, I would be surprised not to see her as a reserve.
Yeah, same. It just to me makes the most sense that she would have. And I mean, again, I say this all the time, all-stars for the fans, right? All-stars for the fans. And when we talk about one of the most popular players in this league, Angel Reese is absolutely that. I would just recall watching a video the other day of a little girl on her birthday receiving an Angel Reese jersey, and she thought that that was it. Turns around, she opens up another smaller box upon box, and it's tickets to a Chicago game. And she just kind of lit up, cried. It's that type of impact. It was the cutest video in the world, but she continues to have that type of impact. And so again, if all-stars for the fans, which I say again that it is, then it only makes sense to have one of the league's most beloved players, because again, fans from all over really love and enjoy and support Angel, that she'd be someone to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I don't have any more to add to that. Angel, we just want to give you your flowers. I think you deserve them and you are worthy of them. And you are just having a hell of a season right now. Like, you've been on a tear, and I'm so proud of her because she doesn't let those people impact her. I don't want to say it doesn't impact her at all. I'm not in Angel Reese's mind. And you know, when they did come to New York, you could tell she got, you know, emotional. You know, her teammate Ariel Atkins stood up for her. And so I don't want to sit here and say that actually none of this impacts her, because she's human and I don't want to dehumanize her, but I love that she takes that and she turns it into something empowering. And for that, and for just who she is all the time on the court and off the court, I'm so proud of you. So great turnaround, Angel. Looking forward to everything you're going to do, and looking forward to, I think, seeing you at the All-Star game. Listen, this has been fun, Terrika, as always. But guys, make sure you don't want to ever miss anything that we are talking about. So tune in to the WNBA on NBC. Subscribe. Go do it right now, because you know when that full list of WNBA All-Stars come out, we're going to be reacting to it. Okay?
Sure is.
Until next time. Thank you, T.
Bye, Nat.